Hey everybody, it's Cindy Donaldson, hailing from my little office here in Connecticut at Red Barn Consulting. I want to take a few minutes and just share my story. And I hope it resonates with some of you who maybe have launched businesses in the past, or maybe you're stuck in a job right now and you really want to be a coach or consultant, because I think my story might help you. Go back about 20 years ago, my very first business failed miserably. And once that business fell apart, and that's a whole story in itself, I started another marketing firm called Bracala Marketing. And one of my clients at that agency was an insurance agency named Founders. And they brought me in to do some marketing for their high net worth division. And part of our strategic plan was like, you know what, you really need to market and brand the whole company. Your sales team really needs some help. You really should hire an in-house director of marketing and sales. And you can see where this story is going. They came back and they're like, Cindy, we would really love for you to take that job. You understand us, you've got the background, you will need to get licensed in insurance, and you do have to sell your company. So after a lot of soul searching, I was like, okay, you know, I hadn't had a vacation in a very long time. It was a 6-figure job, 5 weeks vacation, and 100% paid health benefits. Now you probably can't find that today, but back then it happened. So I took the job and it was so much fun. One, the owners were amazing, the team was amazing, and I got to build everything. I got to go in and create an entire marketing department. I got to revamp their sales team, got rid of some dead weight, hired some new people in, wrote the policies, processes, and procedures. It was so much fun. I had a blast. I met everybody from the CEO of Travelers down to small other agents across the country. And I just started doing stuff that I normally did with my other clients. And lo and behold, like, I didn't know that in the insurance world, people were on social media, people weren't blogging. And pretty soon there was like this buzz around me, like, who the hell is Cindy Donaldson at this little insurance agency in Connecticut? So I got asked to speak at events, like conventions. I got asked to sit on panels. I got written up in magazines. I got interviewed. It was amazing. It was so much fun until it wasn't. And about 3 years in, I just started getting really bored. Now, this had nothing to do with the company. They were amazing. I loved the partners, loved all my coworkers, but I was bored. I started getting that Sunday night, like, oh my God, tomorrow's Monday. And I really just wanted to go back out on my own again. I had become a middle manager. And not that there's anything wrong with being a middle manager. I give you guys so much credit, but it is just not me. Managing up, managing down, just sitting at my desk, shuffling papers and signing off on stuff and checking applications. I was done. I was so not inspired anymore. So what I did is, like, I started calling up my peeps in the insurance industry. I said, listen, you know, I've done some really cool stuff here. I think I can monetize it, go back out on my own, and be a consultant for insurance agencies as it pertains to marketing and sales. And so many of those people came back to me and said, Cindy, I'd be careful, because the agencies that really need you, they're not going to be able to afford you they're not going to be able to afford you. So you're going to end up doing this for pennies on the dollar, and you'll be miserable. The agencies that can afford you, they're just going to want to hire you in-house. So you're going to be in the same space. So I was a little disheartened at first, but then I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm glad I learned, glad I asked, did the market research, but I knew that I had to go. Like, I was just becoming a cancer with me. I was miserable. I was getting grumpy around the office. Like, I just had to go. So a lot of people had started asking me, even before I made the decision to leave, hey, do you do any, even some of my old clients at Bracala Marketing, hey, we need some ads. Hey, can you manage our social media? Can you write some content? So I reached out to those people and said, hey, I'll do it as a side hustle. Happy to do it. They knew that I was working 9 to 5, and I never did any other clients' work, while I was on the job. I just didn't think that was the right thing to do. So it was at night or on the weekends. I was writing content calendars and blogs and managing stuff. And it was great. I had gotten to a point where I was making about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I can't remember the exact number now, but I knew that I had enough cushion that it was time. Now remember, I really love these guys a lot, and they relied on me to manage their sales team, manage all of their marketing processes. Like, nobody else knew how to do what I did. So I went to the boss and I said, Dennis, I think it's time. Like, I knew in my heart, like, I just couldn't be here another Monday. And he was just kind of like, oh, you're not quitting, are you? And I said, but it's okay, because I've got a proposal. What if I kept my office here 2 days a week, still managed the sales team, still did all of the marketing. We'd have to move some processes and procedures around because I wouldn't be here, so people can't like call me, but I can forward my extension to my cell phone if that makes you more comfortable, whatever you want to do. And here's the good news. I'll do it for $60,000, which was far less than my salary. They didn't have to pay payroll taxes. They didn't have to pay benefits. I was no longer on the 401k and all that good stuff. But, you know, it was a win-win, I thought, for everybody. They really wouldn't see a glitch, except I wouldn't be around the team as much, just 2 mornings a week. And he looked at me and he said, Donaldson, I think we've got a deal. Now, I also knew that the owners were getting to a space where they really wanted to retire. And I was part of that early succession planning plan for them, but I didn't want to own an insurance agency. And there was a couple other key employees that had left. They didn't want to be part of the succession plan. So I knew that they were going to sell eventually. So this wasn't going to be a long-term thing. I knew that they were going to have to clean up the balance sheet and sort of titrate me off. And that's exactly what happened. I worked with them for about 4 years. We went from like $60,000 a year down to 30 till finally they're like, you know, we got to clean up the balance sheet. And then they ended up selling to an amazing company and all the owners were wonderful. The good news is by the time that I left that company, Red Barn Consulting was making well into 6 figures. I had all my systems and processes set in place. I didn't burn bridges. I was able to take care of a company that I really loved. And I still talk to those guys. They're still amazing. And all of my, like everything was just set up. So day one at Red Barn Consulting was a breeze. I woke up, did the same thing, went to the office, did my work. It was a no-brainer. What I didn't have done was a lot of my marketing, like my website wasn't done, my business cards weren't done. I did have my LLC because I needed insurance. I was a licensed agent, and so I knew how to do all that stuff. I'd already talked to my accountant and my attorney. So all of those T's were crossed and I's were dotted. So I was really good there. And plus all the customers I had, they already knew me. They'd known me for a while. So they didn't need to look at my website. So it gave me like a cushion to not only do the work, because now I wasn't at Founders 40 hours a week. I was only there 2 mornings a week. And I was able to get it all done. So within 6 months, I had my branding done and had email marketing moving, and it was all hunky-dory. So I'm telling you this because in our course, How to Launch and Scale a Successful Coaching or Consulting Business, I teach you all of that. But more importantly, I teach you like how, when you actually get the business, how to scale it. One of the biggest things that coaches and consultants struggle with is how to scale their business because they run out of time. And that happened to me pretty quickly at Red Barn. So I knew that I had to somehow figure out how to make money and bring recurring money in and reach the masses. So be able to tell my story and help thousands of people at once versus just one-on-one. So I teach you how we go through our 3 buckets. We still have a lot of traditional one-to-one clients, just like I did when I launched Red Barn Consulting, from insurance agencies to banks to Fortune 500. So we've got those traditional clients. And we also have people like you who are going to take this course. So it's minimal work on my end besides all the work that we did ahead of time. So I teach you how to do that. And then we've got the people in the middle who like to take the course, but they just need some coaching. So that's how you scale it. And I'll give you all those details. So that's my story. I hope that some of it resonated with you. And I hope you take some time, read a little bit more about me, check me out on redbarnconsultingllc.com or find me on LinkedIn. Cyberstalk me away if you'd like to. And we will see you in the course. Looking forward to it. Take care.